Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today, let me get my thing set up here. Gotta set up the old chat box there to get the chat refreshed. Bucky, what's up, dude? Glad to see you here, man. Glad you made it this morning, buddy. Brother o' mine, how's it going, buddy? But today I was going to talk about AI because I heard I've been pounding this drum for a while now, and y'all have heard me say it many times that AI is going to take over the entertainment industry. Because of a movie I saw years ago called Sim 1, and where this guy made an artificial intelligent simulation thing, and it became a celebrity, and people didn't know that it was just a simulation, right? That was the gist of the movie. What's up, Tripwire? It starred Al Pacino. And so when this AI shit started coming out, I figured that it'd be like that, some shit like that. People would be fawning over AI artificial representations of superstars, and the actors and singers and all this stuff, they would just fade away, and that's what's happening. I guess for the first time ever, they've had an AI generated song and video reached the Billboard, one of those Billboard charts. I don't know how many they have. I thought there was just one, but the news is that one of the Billboard charts. So I guess there's more than one. That tells you how ignorant I am of that shit. Just another guy in the woods. What's up? Glad to see you here, man. Glad you could make it this morning, Laic. Oh, okay. You just listening today? All right, buddy. Yeah, so this AI, it's a country song, and it's reached one of the Billboard, it's topped one of the Billboard charts or whatever, and it's got millions and millions of views, and people love it and shit, and this whole AI thing, that would be fine, right? I wouldn't have a problem with it if I thought that was it. Raziel, what's up, buddy? If I honestly believe that was it, that they have some AI songs pop up once in a while, and people would, the sheeple out there would go crazy for it once in a while. But no, this shit is going to take over, and it's just a simple matter of math, X's and O's, bottom line, that will tell you that. Right, and it goes further than just singers or actors or whatever. Okay, now if I was some kind of song producer or something, if I owned Sony Records or some shit, you know what I mean, and I was doing that kind of thing, and I was just concerned with my bottom line. Now, how would I go about it? Would I keep paying, talent scouts to go out and search out new talent, and then have to deal with with all their personalities and all their idiosyncrasies and all this shit, you know what I'm saying? And pay them all kinds of money and all this? Or would I just have AI do it? You know what I mean? AI is not going to just cancel out singers. They're going to cancel out voice coaches, makeup artists, stage attendants, roadies. Oh, there's a whole industry of jobs and subsidiary support jobs that are going to be wiped out because of this shit. And it's just a fact. It's because these corporations, number one, they have been just monetarily, fiscally raping musicians and shit for decades, right? They just screw them over with these contracts and stuff. So, you know, to be able to not even deal with those contracts and lawsuits and all this shit, that's just, you know, that's heaven sent for those huge corporations. Big Country, what's up, Big Country? Glad to see you here, man. Dog Karma, hey, Dog Karma. Glad to see you here. Shannon, hey, Shannon. And we can look at, you know, we can just look at history. You know, these corporations, these companies, they're only concerned with their bottom line. I mean, it's always in the news. Microsoft lays off 1,900 people. Amazon lays off 2,400 people. You know, whoever, Apple lays off, you know, 1,600 people, whatever. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care about anything except their bottom line. All right? Making more millions or more billions or whatever. That is their only concern. And when you look at that, and when you look at it from that standpoint, AI will save me, you know, $1.8 billion next year. Or I can keep going with real live talent, you know, and it's going to cost me that much. So, I mean, the choice is literally idiot proof, you know what I mean? It's just... You don't even they don't even have to think about it. It's just that's they're dying to do it. They're excited about it, about, you know, just destroying all these jobs and shit. So the massive, I mean massive wave of destruction that's going to go through our employment across the board, right? All this entertainment shit. Like I said, makeup artists, roadies, you know, the people that build the sound sets and shit and the stages and all this, all that is going to go away. Everything from carpenters to hairstylists to across the board, that shit is just going to vanish. Those jobs are just going to go like a puff of smoke. And it's going to come all at once because this stuff is you know, this here is the worst thing that can happen because this AI song reaching, you know, topping a Billboard chart, all the other studios are looking at that shit, right? It took them an hour to make that song, just an hour. Somebody typed in a thing, and then somebody watched the video, and they passed it along to somebody else to watch the video, and that person liked it too, so they passed it to the next person, and he loved it, so they put it out, and that was it. No, you know, no dealing with partying ass band members, you know, no dealing with depressed band members and missing people coming in late and all that shit. No dealing with contracts and all just the horde of shit that you have to deal with when you're dealing with other human beings. All that shit's just washed away. It's all gone. You know, AI is going to take care of it all. So, yeah, and you can look at that. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Raziel, yeah. And that's the thing, Raziel touched on it there. Is that I use this, you know, all kinds of editing software and stuff, different editing software in doing my videos. And they are constantly, I mean, every time I open up the application to edit a video, they bombard me with AI editing. You can edit it with AI and AI this and do the voiceover. You know, you can just I could just take this picture of myself, just take a still image, and then type in everything I wanted to say and let AI make the video for me. You know what I mean? That's all the shit they're bombarding me with that they want me to do. And yeah, it seems like it would be easier, and maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't tried it. I'm not going to try it. I never will. But it's a constant bombardment, and I can see the temptation, especially for younger kids and shit. You know what I mean? Who don't have that kind of just innate aversion to AI and all that stuff. They're growing up in a land of AI, and that's normal to them. So even then, though, it's going to be what little bit of reality we're going to have is going to be small time actual people doing small time things like this. Those huge companies aren't going to use actual people anymore. The only question there is like the Screen Actors Guild, because they are forcing the companies to pay them for using their likeness. But still, it's going to be AI. You know, you're just going to have to cut the actor a check. You know, that's so it's not gonna save a whole lot of money, as much say, but still, you know, you don't need set designers and makeup artists and all that other shit. You know, those actors aren't looking out for those people, carpenters and, you know, hairstylists and voice trainers and all that shit. Those actors aren't looking out for those people. They're just looking out for themselves. They just want to get reimbursed for their image being used. But yeah, it's going to be small time stuff like this where is going to be the only place you're going to be able to see real people in the next, I don't know, probably 10 years, something like that. Oh yeah. Yeah, Shannon. Well, there aren't going to be any graphic designers in the future. Does not have room for graphic designers and programmers and shit like that. Yeah, that's just not going to be a thing. That kind of job, won't exist. It'll be, you know, there'll be like I don't know, buggy whip manufacturers. You know what I mean? It's just going to go away. There is no job to manufacture buggy whips now. You know what I'm saying? If you want a buggy whip, you got to make it yourself. Oh, Razio, yeah, I'm just saying an hour from the time it takes to make it until, you know, the top guy, whoever it is, pulls the trigger and decides to publish it. An hour all told, you know. Yeah, yeah, big country. I'll stick with humans too. Well, they're improving that, Shannon. AI narration is annoying to listen to. Whether you're not going to be able to tell the difference. Just think about how it used to be. I am a robot. You know, it used to talk like that. Now, I mean, it's more 1,000 times more fluid and human-like, but you can still kind of tell. You know, and that kind of advancement is a snowball. The faster it advances, the better it gets, and the faster it advances. It's just pretty soon you just won't be able to tell within the next few years. You won't be able to tell if you're talking to a human being or a robot, and there'll be no way for you to tell. Yeah, no, we don't want to see R2D2 crooning Johnny Cash, dude. Oh yeah, yeah. There are already lots of groups who lip sync. You're right, Raziel. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you see that? Where do you see corporations starting to collapse? I see them getting more and more control, getting more and more monstrous. I don't see any of them collapsing. Maybe I missed something. Did I miss something in the news or something? I see them getting stronger and more powerful and further reaching, not collapsing. If anything's on the verge of collapsing, it's us and our society. It reminds me of that scene from Fight Club where he says, in the future it'll be corporate, branding will be everywhere. The Starbucks galaxy and shit, you know what I'm saying? BlackRock collapsed. Well, yeah, I don't know. They're just they're not a like a corporation who employs people and shit. They're just an investment firm. They don't even do anything real. All they do is invest in stocks. I'm gonna have to look into that. How the hell they collapsed? They've been, buying up stocks and controlling corporations for decades now. Yes, Shannon. Yeah, absolutely. Hands-on jobs will not really be replaceable. They can, some of them though. They can. AI can build houses now. They just 3D print them, and you can look into that. It looks cool, but I mean it's horrifying, but it looks pretty cool to watch it happen. But yeah, AI can build houses now. Now, unclog your drain, probably not. There are some stuff like repairs and stuff that AI won't be able to do for a long time. We'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes with Elon Musk's robots. How they can diagnose and use tools and stuff like that. That's going to be a while because they just won't be able to do that. But they can just set a big AI robot out there and it'll 3D print a house. They're doing that already. They've been doing that for a while. So that'll just depend on how the market goes and all that. Whether those 3D printed houses will yeah, people will probably need to finish it off, put in the windows and add insulation and stuff like that. Yes, you're right about that, Shannon. Yeah, they'll need to finish it off. I didn't think about that, but yeah, the people just won't actually build the actual house. You know what I mean? But they'll have to put the finishing touches on it. So far, until they figure out how to get AI to do that shit. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is neat. He let it sit on the shelf for a decade. Yeah, that's pretty cool, Bucky. But now, I don't know if they're doing it yet already. They might already be doing it with, these actors. A lot of these actors, they might already be AI, and the actor just gets a check and you can't tell the damn difference. You know what I'm saying? I don't know yet. But all that stuff it's coming. And there's just no... The thing that bothers me the most, I think, is that the public is just adopting this shit. They're just saying, okay, and it started with the damn self-checkouts. And when they let technology just erase jobs, the fact that people just accept it, and not only that, but praise it. Oh yeah, this AI videos, millions and millions of fans for it's AI. It's a spinning disc on some server. You know what I mean? There's no talent there. There's no real talent. All AI can do is go out into the internet and steal what actual humans have created and kind of make a mishmash of it. And it can sound good, but it's not original. It cannot be original because it's not human. It's not it's a robot. So constructed by the Amish. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's one place that will always have, human-made stuff is from the Amish. Oh yeah, Trip. Yeah, the day we started making money without producing anything. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Raziel. Mike Fleisner, what's up, dude? Yeah, manual labor and trades, it's going to take a long time because they've got to figure out the not only the thought process but the motor skills. You know what I mean? You can't have some robot go in there and rip out some lady's sink because her drain was clogged. You know what I'm saying? So that shit's going to have to be tested for years before they can send the first robot handyman out there. You can't, you just can't have that shit go out there and go haywire and scare a bunch of people. So yeah, that stuff. It's the thought. It's the creative shit. The and then like I said, the secondary, right? The secondary careers after that. Like you just create a song. Hey, you throw an AI video up there and the guy's singing about how he missed his train and his wife's gonna leave him and shit or whatever, and you think about that. Oh, that's a cool song, and a singer, a human singer didn't make it to the top Billboard whatever because of it. Yeah, that's true, but there's a lot of secondary careers that are being wiped out from that too. Voice coaches, the people that make microphones, you know what I mean? Those people, just all kinds of shit that we don't think about. The people to construct the stages and do the sound system and do all that shit to go on tour and all this stuff. The travel industry will take a hit because these guys aren't going around. These guys won't be going on tour anymore. Even if they do go on tour, if they do some kind of tour, it'll just be a big jumbotron screen and AI will jump up there, and he'll be able to talk to the crowd and stuff. But it'll just be a big AI on a big screen. It won't be, a live show up there. And people will love it because the people in the back will be able to see it great. And, just like the people in the front. There's a lot. These are going to have ripple effects throughout society. And it's going to cost. It's not going to cost these huge corporations, but it's going to cost us, people. And then think of all those people who will lose their jobs, makeup artists and all this stuff. So they won't be able to buy a house. So that puts a lot of construction workers in a bind. They won't be able to buy a car. And these construction workers won't be able to buy stuff. And then, you know what I mean? And it ripples throughout society. Because one person loses their job, that's one house they can't buy. That's 10 construction workers who don't get to build a house. And that's 10 construction workers who won't buy cars or, send their little girls to ballet class or whatever. So it ripples all throughout society. Yeah, it's not good, but people love it. So what are you gonna do? You know? Yeah, yeah, Raziel. It's lobotomizing people. It's idiocracy. Yeah, yeah, Shannon. And that would be fine. Okay, Shannon says their labor costs are getting more expensive. Large companies don't want to pay $15 an hour plus benefits to cashiers. Absolutely true what Shannon just said. I get that. Okay. There's a lot that goes into that though. Number one, people should be able to live a good life on $10 an hour. But inflation is devaluing our dollar. The banks are crippling us on the opposite end by devaluing our dollar. Okay, that's why we need $15 an hour just to stay alive. I mean, barely minimum. You couldn't rent a house anywhere with $15 an hour. You'd have to have five people working at $15 an hour to pay rent on a house nowadays and eat and so there's that. The other thing is these. I would have a lot more sympathy for these companies if they weren't making record profits every year. They don't want to pay $15 an hour, not because they're going to go under if they pay a living wage. You know what I mean? That's not why. They're not going to lose their business. They're going to make, their profits aren't going to increase next year. And that's the thing. Their profits must increase. Okay? They can't let their, they can't only make 1.5 billion again next year. They can't do that. So, we've got to do something about it. We've got to lay off 1,500 people, or we're only going to make 1.5 billion again this year. We can't do that. That's disgusting. Well, isn't it disgusting to lay off 1,500 people? Isn't it disgusting that 75% of your employees are on SNAP benefits because you don't pay them enough? All these government regulations and shit in the United States anyway are aimed at us. They do not regulate these big corporations. They do not, force these big corporations to do right by the American people. And I'm not talking about minimum wage and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about regulating the amount of technology they can use. No, you can't have self-checkout. Period. You're not allowed. That's illegal. How does self-checkout helping the average American? Did we all starve to death in 1980 because there were no self-checkouts? People were happy in 1980. Plenty of happy people in 1980 without self-checkout. This kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Put a stranglehold on AI. Outlaw that shit across the board. We don't need AI taking over our jobs. Outlaw that shit. They can pass laws and regulations, outlaw hiring illegal immigrants and paying, so that they drive down the wage. Outlaw that shit and put people in jail for it. Drag a CEO out of one of these company offices and put his ass in prison for 10 years for hiring illegal immigrants. That's what you do. That's how you fix our wage problem in this country. You start passing laws and regulations against these corporations and you back it up. You follow through. You don't let them get off with a little fine. A little fine, I'm talking about, 300-400 million. You don't let them get away with a slap on the wrist like that. You drag a couple of those CEOs out in full public view and you sentence them for committing crimes. Yeah. Raziel, that was the dream. That was the dream we were sold, that we would be free to pursue art and philosophy and spirituality and shit like this. You know what I mean? Because we'd have leisure time. But now we're so engulfed with just paying the bills because shit's gotten so expensive, just trying to get enough to eat from one paycheck to the next and all this shit, that we have no time for any of that shit, right? These computers are making shit worse, and it's snowballing at a rapid level. Yes, jobs change over time. But and the internet and all that stuff, when we got the internet, people went from manufacturing jobs and stuff and all that stuff to computer programming jobs. Okay? That was how it was. And it created jobs. It created more jobs to replace the jobs that it took away. How many jobs did self-checkout create? How many jobs? This new technology we have now is not creating new jobs to replace the old ones. Aren't new, more advanced jobs to replace the old, less advanced jobs. Okay? The buggy whip thing. People used to make buggy whips. Then they became mechanics, auto mechanics. They made tires and shit. All right? These jobs that are this technology now is not creating new jobs to replace the old ones. It is just getting rid of jobs. Period. End of story. There's no silver lining. There's no, I'll just go learn some new shit. Well, AI is doing that too. I can't learn to code anymore because AI is coding. Biden's old speech about learn to code, or that famous thing he said, coal miners need to learn to code. Well, coders are going to be non-existent. I can't learn to sing because singers don't exist anymore. Acting, gone. Writing books, What do you want to be a writer, an actor, a song, sing songs, you want to code, all that? No. Oh, okay. What job is replacing those? Where's the new job? What new technology have they come up with to afford jobs to the ones that are being replaced, that are being deleted? There aren't any. There aren't any new jobs. AI is just deleting them, just like deleting shit off a hard drive. It's just gone. No new stuff to replace it with. Yes. Farmers no longer need to hire people to pick things by hand. And those fruit pickers, they could go become computer programmers, or other jobs became available. Exactly. But these computer programmers who are being displaced by AI, they can't go pick fruit or something because those jobs don't exist. There aren't new jobs. There are only so many toilets that need to be cleaned, only so many drains that need to be unplugged. And we can't buy houses anymore because housing is getting so expensive. And we got millions of empty houses around the United States. Nobody can afford to pay a plumber anyway. Jeff 7, what's up, dude? Oh, yeah. Yeah, bankers and investment firms have a lot to answer for. Yep. Yeah, genuine capitalism is deflationary. Yep, exactly. All this bullshit, inflation and all this bullshit it's just horrible for humanity. Yeah, I don't argue that, Shannon. It is more convenient. It is more convenient. But thousands upon thousands of people don't have jobs for the sake of that convenience. I personally am against convenience. Convenience is evil. It's a thing we've been sold that is bad. Convenience is bad. Inconvenience good, convenience bad. That's just where I stand on that. If it's convenient, it's bad for mankind today in this day and age. Yes, it sucked standing in line. I hate standing in lines, but I would rather stand in a line for 20 minutes to buy a pack of hot dogs than watch thousands upon thousands of people be jobless and on the streets. That's just me. I don't like technology that just deletes jobs without creating more, without more jobs on the horizon, with no answer. If we had decent politicians who were trying to actually fix these problems, then I'd say, okay, hell, get it. But we don't. They're just making them worse, making us poorer. They don't give a shit. We just watched them shut down the government for 40-something days, which, the average working person didn't even notice, but a lot of people were hurt by it. They didn't give a shit. Not about the people who were hurt. Our politicians are selling us out. The corporations are selling us out. Yeah, they've got cameras and they're trying to stop it and all that stuff. Snyder, what's up? Yeah, I just can't believe that any huge corporation, when you look at a big corporation, especially one like Walmart, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's very high. It's over 50% or something like that of their employees qualify for SNAP benefits. And they will lay off droves of them in the blink of an eye without a thought, without any consideration. Now, they could easily pay those people a decent living wage, get rid of those self-checkouts, add more people. You don't like standing in line? Well, Walmart, why can't Walmart just add more checkout? More checkout lines and hire more people? Why not? So you can go through and make it more convenient with real people. They could do that. They could have 20 cashiers up there, at the busy times. But they've got me doing the cashier's job now. Right? And it's sickening. It's sickening. They don't want to pay a living wage. They don't want to pay any wage. And anything they can do to get out of paying wages, they will do. They will fire every single one of their employees in a heartbeat. So yeah, those companies like that, I can't back them. I can't. Your plumber doesn't charge you anything, big country? Well, that's good. You got a damn good plumber, dude. Yeah. Yeah, Schneider. Yeah. I just go through the regular checkout just by, I'll wait. It's just, personal choice. And I go by there, and nowadays I'll go by, because I shop at Walmart, and I'll go by and see long lines at self-checkout, and with a regular person standing there, at the regular old-fashioned register, just standing there doing nothing, and long lines of people waiting at self-checkout, and I'll just go up to the person, the regular cashier, and check out and leave. But these people are telling, they think that they're standing in the self-checkout line for convenience. Now, okay, okay, this whole convenience thing, I just think that's a big old fantasy that we're sold. Oh, look at this, Everything is so convenient. Yeah, but it's crippling us. All this convenience, this Uber Eats and all this shit costs 3 times more than just making something yourself at home. Yeah, it's real convenient. You're right, but is it good for you in the long term? You know, what is the ultimate inconvenience? Well, suicide. That's pretty fucking. Excuse my language. That's pretty damn convenient. But just skip all the shit. Bing, I just skip all the lines and everything. That's the most convenient thing on the world. Skip the whole thing. Is it good? You know what I'm saying? I would argue that it's not. That no matter how convenient it is, it would save you decades of time. Decades. The most convenient thing on the planet. But it is not good. As a matter of fact, I would say that it is one of the most horrible things on the planet, even though the most convenient thing on the planet is the most horrible. So, yeah, no, convenience is not all that it's wrapped up to be. Convenience is a Trojan horse. It's wrapped up like this big gift and shit to us, but it's not what a lot of people think it is. And I'm not up here on some high horse either. I fall into that convenience thing a lot too. But I try to keep my eyes open and stay aware. I think I fall into the convenience trap less than the average person, hopefully. But I'm not saying I'm completely innocent of it either. Yeah, Shannon, they finally fixed it. From what I understand, yeah. Zombie, what's up, dude? Good morning. January. They kicked the can down the road till January, huh, Schneider? Yeah, I've heard that, Shannon, that Walmart is hardcore against unions and all that stuff. Yeah, Walmart's one of the worst. And then their drivers, they hire, they don't want to pay a driver, put a driver on their payroll. So they subsidize you or me to make our own little driving company, so they're not responsible for the insurance or anything, but they have these really tight schedules for these drivers, and these Amazon drivers are flying all over the road. I saw some kind of video about how dangerous these Amazon drivers are, just plowing into people through intersections and shit, trying to make their goal. Then Amazon is set for them. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, Amazon's one of the worst for that shit. Yeah, an addiction to speed too, Raziel. Yeah. Yep, I used to love it when Amazon was open or Walmart was open 24 hours, Shannon. I would go in there at like 4 o'clock in the morning and avoid all the people and stuff. I loved it. Yeah. Yeah, AI will start telling you what you want, Tripwire. Yeah. Oh, everybody went through that, Shannon. Yeah, I remember the local Burger King here was closed for several days because nobody would show up to work because people got those stimulus checks, those young people that work in those places, and they just wouldn't go to work. Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, Schneider, that's how I am. I literally, this is how I am, dude. And I'm not exaggerating here. I will park on the far side of the parking lot. Yeah. If there's a bunch of cars, everybody's fighting and you see people blocking traffic because they're waiting on somebody to pull out at the parking lot and shit and all that tangled mess right up there because everybody wants to park right up there by the door. just, so they don't have to burn 10 extra calories walking. I park on the far side of the parking lot where the damn thing is completely empty, and I take another 20 seconds to walk to the door, just because I don't like messing with the shit. And 20 seconds is not going to make or break my day. I don't need that much convenience. And then when I think about it, probably some old, 90-year-old person or some pregnant lady or something might appreciate that I left that parking space open right there by the door. So yeah, I don't. That's how far I go with the convenience thing and all that shit. I don't mind wasting 20 extra seconds or whatever of my life. I don't mind burning a few extra calories. I never have. And nowadays it's like a matter of principle on top of everything else. You know what I mean? I just refuse to be one of those people. So yeah, that's where I land on that shit. Yeah, Trip, I do too. I go to the human ones, the human checkouts. I'm not gonna even if there's a long line, I don't give a shit. Self-checkout could be completely empty and there's a long line at the human one. I will wait in line. I'm not, Walmart can send somebody else up there, hire another human being to come up there and open up a register. Is where I'm at with that. Oh, big country. So, there I bet all their initials are BC, right? Your HVAC guy, mechanic, appliance repairman, I bet they all have the initials BC, don't they? Yeah, me too, dude. I called in the last 30 years, maybe my whole life. I've called an air conditioning guy once because I didn't know what the hell was going on. But yeah. Oh yeah, Raziel. Yeah. When you're forced to slow down and operate on that timeline, just a slower, more temperate mentality, it's life is better. It just is. All that zipping around for the sake of convenience. Oh, okay. Most Amazon drivers are 1099 dependent contractors. Okay. Oh, I'm sure there is a way to turn that shit off, big country. I don't know it though. Zombies king of the chat, dudes. We're all peasants. uh, you don't, you're not sure you can straighten it again, huh? Yeah, save the car from scratches too, Snyder. Yeah, you're exactly right. Oh yeah, dude, zombie. Yeah, dude. I've run across videos, like selfie videos of those Door Dashers, and they're just eating out of their customers' food, eating their potato wedgies and their fries and their chicken tenders and shit, just putting their fingers right in those people's food and eating it. Yeah, and that go if two or three people will make videos of that shit and post it online, how many of them do it, just anonymously without anybody knowing? Yeah, hell no. No, not Jesse. Jesse ain't ordering that. I have never ordered that shit. I never will. Damn that. No, damn that. Nuh-uh. Literally, I'll go to bed hungry before I order some DoorDash shit. No. Oh, all right, Raziel. Yeah, I mean, if you have to, just just be aware, dude. Buyer beware. You couldn't. No, I wouldn't do that myself. But shit, there's probably a lot of shit I'd do that you wouldn't do. Yeah, Trip. Yeah. Uber Eats drivers doing that gross shit to the food. No. No, not Jesse. Yeah, me too, Zombie. Those 24-hour stores that, yeah, Instacart and all that crap. Yeah, I worked through COVID too, Zombie, but a lot of people didn't though. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just don't trust the drivers, Shannon. I don't. I've seen too many of those videos. Well, one of them is too many, but all right, Bucky, be cool, buddy. Thank you for dropping by. Good morning to Yara, Zombie. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, if they cover it, yeah, that's what the restaurant should do, Shannon. Seal everything up so that nobody's been putting their fingers in it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, I don't trust other humans enough to be doing that crap. And I just don't mind. I just don't mind doing the stuff myself. Then I know what's in it, It's more convenient for me to go just grab a loaf of bread off of Walmart, but I make my own. That kind of thing. I'd rather, take an hour and make a big stew for myself and then I can eat it all week rather than, buying more convenient shit. Sometimes I just don't have time and you know, I'll have to go for the convenient option because I just literally don't have the time. Thank you, Bucky. Have a good day, buddy. Yeah, yeah, Zombie. Dehydration or lack of caffeine. Yeah, that's the timeless puzzle, the timeless question that we all must face. Yeah, yeah. So much stuff is fake now, Raziel. Um, Dude, I know just ordered some sandpaper, and in the image, the picture look, the box looked to be about that big, with 4-inch strips of sandpaper. When it showed up, the box was literally like this, and it was little 1-inch strips of sandpaper. Completely useless. Completely useless. And they'll send that shit out to millions of people, hoping that 900,000 of them, or whatever, don't just return it, or just too lazy or too whatever to return the shit. You know what I mean? And they'll end up with a profit on the overall scheme. They profited. So yeah, it's just so much fraudulence and fakery and bullshit. And AI is at the forefront of that crap. Yeah, exactly, Shannon. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do the restaurants either. I don't go out to restaurant. Once in a blue moon, me and the wife go out to a restaurant for a special occasion or something. But yeah, for that exact reason, Shannon. I don't know what's in the food. You don't know what the kitchen staff are doing. You know, if let's say they bring your steak out, you ordered your steak medium well, and they bring you out a bloody raw piece of meat, and you send it back. Now you're going to piss off the cook. The cook is irritated. You don't know what he or she's going to do now. Are they going to spit on your food or something? You don't know. And maybe that's going too far. Maybe that's just my paranoia. You know what I mean? And I'll admit that maybe I'm a little paranoid. Maybe I'm going overboard a little bit with that shit. But still, I can't help it. I don't trust people. Yeah, if it fell on the floor or something, or they might throw it on the floor if they're pissed off at you. You know what I mean? So yeah, no. Yeah, but by the time we're that old, Schneider, who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit? I mean, yeah. If I'm, 90 years old, then maybe I'll start doing Uber Eats or something and watching AI videos. Yeah, well, if it's a small town place and all that, that's different, that's different. Especially if you know the people there. Yeah, Shannon, exactly. Yeah, I try not to think about it, but it's difficult. It's difficult. And then I know people who are like hyper germophobic and stuff, and I'm not at all. If I drop a sandwich on the ground outside, I will pick it up and dust it off and eat that bitch. I don't care, you know. If a that kind of stuff just doesn't bother me. It's other people that gross me out. But I know some hyper germaphobes, and they'll go and order Uber Eats and all this shit, but I refuse to, and I'm, because I'm concerned about other people's contamination on my shit. So it's a weird paradox there. They would never eat something off the ground like I would, but they'll order Uber Eats, almost every day, have that shit delivered to their house. So it's weird how the human mind works. Oh, okay, Raziel, since '88. Ah, that's awesome. Yeah, and a place like that, yeah, that's a different atmosphere, whole different situation there. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Hearst, where they make it right in front of you. Yep. Or buffets. Buffets can be kind of nasty. But if you get there early in the morning before a bunch of people show up but I don't know. But then also places like, what's that called? Subway, where you see them make it right in front of you. That kind of stuff, yeah. Yeah. Oh, me too, zombie. That's what I do. I'll just throw one of those pork loins in the crock pot with a bunch of beans and onions and stuff in there. Cook it up, and I'll eat that all week. And I'll do the same thing with a stew. I'll make myself a beef stew, or just to put a roast in there, a beef roast with turnips and celery and carrots and all that stuff, and put it in the crock pot, and I'll eat that all week. Yeah, that's awesome. That's the way I like to do it. All right, everybody, our hour is up. I gotta pack my lunch and get ready for work and all that. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Um, yeah, I guess to wrap it up, this AI shit is coming. And there's people are begging for it, and that's the way it is. And it's not gonna be good for our economy to have one computer program replace thousands of people in the job market, and all these people are going to be jobless, and they're going to have to find something else to do, and they need to get some Gen X work ethic and hustle in them. You know what I mean? Because that's all that's going to be left is side hustles and shit. People who are dependent on these jobs that are easily replaced by AI are going to be for a very rough time here in the near future. Oh, okay. Snyder, good Greek restaurants. Yeah, McDonald's and shit like that, Raziel. Yeah, that's yeah, no. I agree with you. I never have eaten a lot of Greek food, so I can't really say one way or the other about that. Chipotle? Oh, okay. Yeah, Chipotle makes food in front of you, but people still get ass bleeding E. coli. Yeah, there's no telling, Shannon. You're right. All right, R. Snyder, Tripwire, Shannon, Raziel, Zombie, Bucky is gone already. Lake is listening. Who else we got here? Jeff Seven. Was my boy R. Yeah, there's R. Snyder, but no, Mike. Mike didn't show up today, did he? Tripwire. Who else we got? Is that it? Did I get everybody? Big Country. Can't forget Big Country. Dog Karma. All right. I think I got everybody. If I missed your name, I apologize. And goodbye to you as well, even though I missed your name. But thank you for showing up and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll have another episode at 8 p.m. Eastern Time this evening. So I hope you join us. Hope you're able to make it. And prepare for the future. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with all this AI and shit in this economy. And nobody's even trying to fix it. Everybody's just clapping as we head for this cliff. So we'll see. We'll just have to see what happens, right? So thank y'all, and I appreciate your time. I really do. I really appreciate your time. Appreciate you joining me and hanging out with me for an hour this morning. All right, and I'll leave you there with that. As always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.